20 minutes past 1 o'clock. Welcome to Lunchtime Radio right here on Power FM Zimbabwe. This one is called Center Stage. And on today's show, it's going to be very interesting because we got some would term the legends, the OGs, the what do they call it? The old school originators and influencers of Zimdancehall. They are in the studio. Some of them, the others, we're going to have to call them up on the phone because they're no longer based in Zimbabwe. So in the studio, we got JMP, Godfatha Templeman, we got Sniper Storm, as well as Elder Skwila. So good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome.
Greetings, Chamvary, how are you?
Hi, big sis.
And hi, big sis.
Greetings, Empress.
All right, so I'm going to give you all the chance to introduce yourself and tell us your work, your contribution to the Zimdancehall industry. We'll start off with you, JMP.
My name is Kuzai Trevor Gadziko, aka JMP, which means Jippers the Certified Mad Producer. Yeah, hailing from Chitungwiza, Chi-Town, Wagwan. Yeah.
And your contribution to the Zimbabwean Zimdancehall industry?
I am one of the first, not really the first, but one of the most earliest pioneers on production when it comes to Zimdancehall. Started my production career around 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And some of the artists you've worked with?
Mostly all of them.
I like the fact that you say mostly all of them. All right. So if you can think of any Zimdancehall artist, you'd have worked with them.
Yeah.
All right.
Pick one.
Winky D.
Taitrana, First Sight, Swagam Chando, Messi, Neti, what else?
Killer T.
Tirigumanya.
Soldier Love.
Nakadula Daka. Baby, I sing a very chinanaka.
Okay, all right.
We can take the whole day.
All right, and then we also have Godfatha Templeman in the studio. Please introduce yourself and tell us your contribution to the Zimdancehall industry.
Yeah, greetings, Zimbabwe, the glorious name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I the First. Yeah, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the conquering land of the tribe of Judah, elect of himself, the chosen one, the light of the world. Holy Emmanuel I King Selassie I Jah
Rastafari. I was waiting for that.
Yeah, Godfatha Templeman is mine. I'm the ghetto president. Well, I've been part of Zimdancehall, the movement from day one, the culture from day one, and I would say from the mid 90s into the 2000s.
I was gonna ask you, when you say day one, define day one, because dates edu, and so that we can move forward together on the same page.
Now, when we say day one, sometimes you watch from a distance.
Okay.
The days of transity.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, culture T. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one of the I would say foundation Zimdancehall artist, or dancehall artist, you want to call it, culture T. One of the first artists to tour around the world with dancehall music. For us, it is something that that is very, very important for us. And just to let you know, Zimdancehall for me, it's a way out of poverty. It's social commentary. It's our culture, it's our life. That's how we survive.
All right, so we're going to talk about that within the interview. But for now, I just want you to introduce yourself so that everybody understands your relevance to the industry and why you are here. So you said you've been here from day one, back in the 90s.
Yeah.
You're observing from a distance?
Yes, observing from a distance. Yes, and I'm also a promoter. Yes, a DJ, selector, MC. Yeah, man.
All right, so you do a lot.
That's why he's the Godfather.
We're just working with all artists, almost all artists.
How did you get the name The Godfather?
Okay, Templeman first. My body is the temple of Jah, and I shall not abuse it. Godfather is because we give a promise to the youths that whenever we're there, we'll never let them down. We'll always make sure that we will survive the ghetto. And ghetto president, it was an endorsement from the youths, because we are not the man who say we are the man who say do as I do,
not do as I say.
Yeah, man, do as I do. We are those mans, so the youths them endorse. They say you're the ghetto president.
So you're also there on an advisory role. You advise the youth and those that are willing to take advice from you.
Who are willing to we never choke it down. Those who are willing to take it, we're always there. We always also work as executive producers for those who want us to work with them. We'll always work with them. And also when we see a youth we want help, sometimes we reach out
All right.
to the youth for direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we also have Sniper Storm, the General. We had to play that song from back in the day. That one is Huya Utambe. All right. So that's kind of where it might have blown up. But we'll get into that as we go along. Sniper Storm, please introduce yourself and your relevance to the industry, your contribution.
All right, my name is Donald Chirisa, aka Sniper Storm, the General Gweterno Mirama baby. Yeah, man. I started my career around late 99. Yes. And my contribution, I would say, my mission was to commercialize dancehall music in Zimbabwe. And yeah. That's
you commercialized.
Yes.
Your mission was to commercialize dancehall music in Zimbabwe.
Yes, dancehall. Let me say dancehall performance.
Dancehall performance in Zimbabwe. And do you feel like at this stage in 2019, ever since you started, your contribution has resulted in something? Has amounted
definitely.
to something?
If I'm a sekuru ndane vazukuru vakawandisa.
Like the way
and who are healthy and well.
Who are healthy and I like that. Who are healthy and well. So can you name some of these vazukuru wenyu amungatiudze?
Vazukuru ndo vari kurira mazuva ano amuri kunzwa. Vana
Elder is nodding his head. Elder is nodding his head in approval. Yeah.
Yes, Ana Bazooka, Ana Enzo Aishal. We have the likes of Ana.
Gospel
Warrior, Freeman, Killer T, Soldier Love.
All right. And we also have Elder Skwila in the studio, Power FM DJ. But Elder Skwila, please introduce yourself and tell us your contribution to the industry.
Having started radio, I can't even remember when I started radio anymore. You see. But it's really been that long. And outside radio, I'd been heavily involved with the music industry. Worked for Country Boy Records, worked for ZMC, worked for Grammar Records, worked for Edgar's Music, worked for Express Music before I joined radio. And I've been on radio for like close to 18 years now. So, having said that, I saw Chunjijitangech. Pachakatangira. Major E ndaipinda naye street ndichiri ku Country Boy Records. Tichifamba netsoka chitengesa makassettes ake.
And what year was this when you were at Country Boy Records?
2000, before 2099.
2000. Yeah. So you have a very close relationship with the likes of Major E, Unisindu, Gota, Potato, Booker T, all of those
Most
guys.
Most of these guys, and a Sniper and a GMP, we are all from the old school. Godfatha, we are all from the old school. So we really saw this thing start.
All right.
I was the first person to play Winky D ever on Zimbabwean radio.
And what year was this?
Must have been 2001.
And
at that time, I'll tell it straight as it is. The dispensation as in the hierarchy at that time in radio was not really that appreciative of dance per se, local dance per se.
You guys are agree?
Yeah.
All right.
They were not really appreciative.
All right.
So I'll tell you what I used to do. Those days I was in Harare, the other guys would be in Gweru.
Yeah.
Vapinda ma meetings. Production meeting.
Yes, the production meeting where we sit down and we talk about what's going on radio, plan, production and stuff.
And then the last hour, that would be 11 to 12 on Fridays, because I used to do radio on Fridays. The last hour, just was an hour meeting. That is when I would start playing my tunes. So it's really kudara chego.
Where you started contributing and pushing the music, the movement.
Yeah.
All right. So now we have a case whereby the issue that is there is you all have a very big part that all four of you have played in the Zimbabwean music industry and in Zimdancehall. However, the issue that stands is that this is not documented. Elder Skwila is talking about his experiences from Country Boy Records and so forth, but it's not documented, it's not on paper, it's nowhere to be found, which is why we have cases whereby people don't understand your value in society. People don't give you the respect that you have in society. I interviewed Sniper Storm last year and I did ask him, do you get the respect that you deserve as per your contribution to the industry? Why is it that Zimdancehall is not documented? The origins of Zimdancehall is not documented. Anyone that can take that up? Templeman?
Yes, I think there's been a big mistake, and the good thing is because of the conversation that you started last week. We have the ball rolling, and we now have a lot of professors who are interested in documenting Zimdancehall. And before documentation, what really is important is the research. The research and talking to the right people. because Zimdancehall is a movement. You know, it's a people's movement. So you really need to talk to a lot of people and to really travel a lot. But what we have managed to do over years, I would say from right around 2003, is to put a lot of things on tape.
Yeah.
You know, on our using the
cassettes,
video recorders.
Yeah.
I think personally I have over 250. Yes, over 250 tapes. I even have Winky D performing on stage before he was dreadlocked. Yeah, may have that before Winky D.
This is from 2003.
Yeah, I think the tapes that I have are from 2002, 2003, right till now. And Winky D, I've got his tapes, I think, from 2004, was it 2004 City Sports Center before he was dreadlocked.
Yeah,
we have all those shows and they're very long, and we have those backstage interviews. So I'm sure if people come together for documentation, that would really play a big role.
But what are you doing about it? I mean, you've got this, you have got it. Why are you waiting for someone to come up and say, Kuti, can I please have this information?
No,
why are you not putting it out there and have ownership on it?
I've not been waiting. That's why we've been recording.
All right, you've been recording, but what are you doing about putting it out there? Because I didn't know about this.
We've been, that's why we're here. You know, we've been recording a lot of visuals and photos. I think over 2,000 pictures from way back from Foundation. And the whole idea was to come up with a good, nice website.
All right.
Then upload everything and make it accessible to everyone. And the documentation is not only from old school in terms of visuals, but is to current, what we have now, and also to the international shows, the international stage, where we had in artists coming from Jamaica to Zimbabwe, performing with our own homegrown artists.
Yeah, I remember we were watching that Elephant Man show at your house recently.
Yeah, but this is the thing that I'm asking. I don't feel like you're answering my question. You've got all this information, but what are you doing with it? If you drop dead today, Godfather, then that information dies with you.
Yeah, that's why we say what we wanted to do is to come up with a website. It's only that maybe we have been busy, but because we are here now, we look into the future. Yeah.
All right. Do you want to say something, Elder Skwila and Sniper?
Look, it all stems down to, like we said before, how this whole thing started. Reggae music dancehall was not really taken seriously
back in the day.
It was not. So you'd find with people like Temple Wachinao Mashozi Wayo and a few others who might have those. If you really
pushing
go back,
the movement.
If you really go back to the days when that movement started, even on radio, like I told you, it was not really that much appreciated. So you'll find Kuti, no one's with Kandezo, you wouldn't find too many people documenting that actually. But then it's a good thing that we have them. And even society per se, as a whole, did not really take the movement seriously. They did not. So of late, they have been taking it seriously. And it's a good thing that people are now talking about documenting it. But then if we were to go back to the origins, all
right,
it's a genre or a movement that was not taken seriously at all.
You keep emphasizing that.
I think that's a very, very valid point.
Yes, I take that.
I would want to expand to that. Maybe someone can come through, but I would want also to expand on that. So that the people can really understand what we say when we say the music was not being taken seriously.
All right.
I think from here, Power FM, you go to the librarian, you would know that I'm not sure if she's still here. I would knock on her door every now and then, coming through with music. Coming through with music. Please, we were coming with a lot of artists who are underground. So Zimdancehall became a big movement culture underground. And it became big. And it became huge. Because the good thing about Zimdancehall, it was endorsed. Remember the days when Urban Groove came through. When Urban Groove came through, you would come through with dancehall music at the radio, but they will never play it. But what then happened is dancehall was pushed underground, and it became huge. I remember because I worked with Winky D from 2002 until maybe 2010.
All right.
Yeah, Winky D is like family to me. You know, so we worked very closely. I remember that back then we would sit down and say, okay, Rasta Twitter say, we need our music out there. Would sell a car to do what? To buy 15,000 CDs to distribute in the street. After distributing after distributing those 15,000 CDs, not one promoter would book you. What you then do is say, so what do we have? To do what? To book shows. I remember we did a show.
To book your own shows.
Yes, I remember we did a tour which was Winky D reggae by bus. We sold a car, we sold engines. Then we booked 10 venues.
Okay.
Glenora, Glenview, Warren Park, Mavuku, Tafara. We did all that. And do you know now one thing that you might never really believe? After booking all those shows, you would do the math and you know that if we go to this show and we're charging $1 and we have 1,500 coming through to this show, that money is not going to be enough to recover the money that we have already invested.
Yeah.
But it was not about that. It was investing into the vibe, and it was about the belief that we had.
All right.
So we had a tour, 10 different venues around all ghettos. Guess what? We never made profit because it was not about what? Profit. It
So
was
if
about
it's-
But getting the
if
name
they had
out there.
It was
documented
because it
any
was-
of that,
it-
nobody was gonna appreciate it.
and now
nonetheless.
we still have it on video, all the 10 shows.
Right.
But the idea was we had put 15,000 CDs. You come up with a map, Zimbabwean map, and you say check what you want to distribute 150 CDs, Kadoma 100 CDs, Chinoi 100. Then you do 2 months of distributing. After those 2 months, still the club owners, still the promoters,
They
do
not-
not hire you.
they don't want you.
You go to Grammar
Yeah.
Record, you want a record deal, they won't give it to you. Then you come back on the drawing board and you say, what do we do? Let's dispose of what we have and push the vibe and promote our own shows.
Yeah.
Then we come back and you promote our own shows. Do we make money?
No.
We never make money. When did Winky D's breakthrough come through? Maybe 2008.
All right.
After 4-5 years of hard work. That's why I support what Elder Skwila is saying, that dancehall, no one will take it seriously. We have legends that we respect, like Crucial Mix, Transity,
Yeah.
who would put up shows, Harare Gardens, Bob Marley commemorations, then extend their hand to dancehall artists and reggae artists to come and perform.
Okay. Sniper Storm had a point. I want to hear his point before we move on.
Okay, I think.
Can you move the microphone to you?
Okay, I think most of what I wanted to say has already been said.
Yeah.
You can ask your next.
Sniper Storm, it was directed to you. You were there in the industry when you started out. When you said you started out in 1998, right?
1999.
1999. That's when you started. And when you started, what was the genre that you said you were getting into?
I was a dancehall artist.
You
And
identified yourself as a dancehall artist.
As a dancehall artist,
Right.
because I was bred on dancehall.
Yeah.
From the Shabba Ranks, the Buju Bantons, the Bounty
That was what
Killers.
was big back in the day.
Exactly. So what would happen back in the day, around those times, to get a studio to record were the problems. There were no studios at all. So this is the time when the digital age started of recording digital music. Kwa even guitar, you know, there were sungura bands, gospel bands, and all this. And itika. So for you to say I want to record in a studio that has just a computer, keyboards, and speakers was another story. Then came about the Mo Vips, the Dilani Makalimas, exactly.
Anna Gilbert, Shamiso
Anna-
Records.
Yes, Anna Shamiso Records.
Yes.
That's where we found our home.
All right.
Exactly.
So when it started as urban grooves, which is what the people get confused to say urban grooves was a genre.
Can I explain urban grooves before we go any further?
Let's explain this.
Yes.
JMP has got some. He's burning right
Okay. Urban grooves, right? Sniper was dancehall.
now. All right.
Placidus Wenyika was a
R&B.
R&B
So-
singer. David Chifunyise was a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Urban grooves, because there was one studio or two maybe, and one or two producers, and then like Templeman was saying, to push the music to the people who were already listening or enjoying sungura and gospel and all these musics, we had to dilute the dancehall, dilute the hip hop, dilute the R&B, so that it can carve a niche in the market. You see, that is how urban grooves came about.
So it was a movement of it's a collective of artists that are
Exactly.
singing different genres
Yes.
and
Yes.
coming
Yes.
together. It's not a genre.
Yes.
We
Thank you.
understood
It's not
this.
a
Thank you very much.
All right.
In short, Ka, when you say urban grooves, this is what it means. And it those whatever urban grooves is. The urban sound, the urban youth. And it's not restricted to Harare, Blawa, Yochete, Chete per se. As long as one are urban Mashingo Chichete, that is how they came up with that term, Yokote urban grooves. And the person who coined that term, Yokote urban grooves, was Joseph Nara.
Joseph Nara is one who came
He's
up
the
with
one
urban
who
grooves.
came up with that
It's
term,
not Delani
Yokote
Makalima.
No.
It's
it was-
not Sunny Makalima.
No.
It's not Gilbert who came up with it.
No, it was Joseph Nara.
We
He's
have
the
that on
one-
record.
He's the one who coined the term urban grooves.
Underline
From
that name.
urban sound.
Yes,
Underline
urban
that.
youth. What are they listening to? What's their sort of sound? that's how we came up with that Yoguti urban grooves.
All right,
Thank
so
you
we
for
got a
that.
message that came through on the WhatsApp number. Send us your messages on 0712-831-172. Chamvary, these are the real guys that started with Zimdancehall, not Jana Ninguya ya Arguita Mariko Zeku, blah blah blah. All right, that's the comment. Hit us up on 0712-831-172 with your comments. We'll also be taking live calls. If you have a piece of history that you feel is being left out by the panel that is in the studio right now, please let us know on the WhatsApp number or call us up and then we'll take some live calls. JMP, you had something to say.
I wanted to really simplify why I am here as well and what I really contribute to what these guys are saying.
Yeah.
Right. You need to understand good is a budget, you know, and for us to have a computer that was not the 99s, neither was it the 2003s. And kwaiwani kwa makompyuta kwana dilani was something very foreign. And he coming from us going to them, they would not understand him musically per se. That's why even Kanawanzwa song ya Tariza, it's more of a hip hop beat. Even though hip hop and dancehall is still the same thing, but it's more of a hip hop beat than what was dancehall and current at the time. So by the time we came up and we started knowing how to, you know, to get computers, softwares, you know, and trying to make beats, that's where we came through with more of the culture of rhythms. That is around the 2002s, 2003s. I was in studio in 2003 and I was still 14. You know, and this was after one of the studio which was brand new at that time from Chitungwiza called Way Out Records.
Way
It
Out
just
Rhythm.
came out, and they made out a rhythm
big up
called
Tier.
Big Up Technical.
Big up Tier.
You
Way
see?
Out Records.
Yeah.
Way Out.
Chamvary, I
Salesman.
think it's very important what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because that is when the culture of rhythms.
Of rhythms.
Yeah.
Came about.
It came
That's
out
what
in 2003 with Way Out Records.
Yes.
Way Out.
That's what.
You're also
one
agreeing,
of-
Sniper Storm?
I agree.
That's one of the
Yes,
first
the Way Out
biggest
Rhythm,
videos. Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So it's just Patino Zukuro up until 2006. Now we can properly maneuver into softwares. We're starting to make more rhythms, and the culture starts to get bigger. You have Gospel Warrior coming through.
All right,
you
so
have
we
Daza,
got
etc.
Smylie on the line. Let's speak to Smylie right now. Hello? Smylie?
Greetings.
Hey, Smylie, how you doing?
Wagwan Jambari, everything cool, man. How you doing?
I'm good. In the studio, we got JMP, we got Godfatha Templeman, we got Sniper Storm, and we also have Elder Skwila. So just send your shout outs to them.
Yeah, my Wagwan family, JMP, mad producer.
Yeah, I'm there,
The
brother
God
Wagwan.
Templeman, the Godfather.
Yo!
General
Wagwan
Sniper.
Smylie.
Elder Skwila, my king.
Oh, where I say Smylie.
All right, Smylie, so tell us,
Yeah, man,
tell us who
family.
you are. Tell us who you are and your contribution to the Zimdancehall industry.
Me name is Smylie on the keys. You know, say Smylie, I'm an MC and also a DJ. DJ on Power FM. And right now, me there at Dubai, I still continue the works, you know, say.
All right, so
Yeah, and also a Zimdancehall ambassador.
there's an agreement that you are the Zimdancehall ambassador. Now tell us your contribution to the Zimdancehall industry. When did you start to take notice of Zimdancehall in Zimbabwe?
Well, I think about 2009, 2010.
What
That's when we
happened?
start notice like the dancehall. I start growing in Zimbabwe.
How did you start to take
But
notice
them
of it?
days- Well, artists like Sniper Storm, Winky D, those are the people we start notice. But them days it was just like single artists, not like rhythms. Rhythms they were not there just yet. Just singles and artists and rare.
All
And then
right.
when we get on radio, that's when we start get like rhythms from producers. Yeah, likes of JMP, Alvin K, Dollar Getters, Gunwit, and all of them. They start giving me rhythms with artists on one rhythm.
Okay.
So that's when it started growing. Those days, that's when I started playing on radio. And then I started pushing them works. Yeah.
All right. So when you were on radio and when you first came onto radio, was Zimdancehall getting recognition? Because Elder Skwila, I think all the guests in the studio do agree that it was not being taken seriously. And then you came on, and Power FM was the only urban station at the time. You came on. How did you manage to push this genre on air?
Yeah, Squila's right. Those days, Zimdancehall was not like, people never used to take it seriously, because I remember playing it on radio, and people would call me up and say, hey, what's this you're playing? Play some buju, play some proper dancehall, you know. But them days, people weren't really taking it serious. Yeah, and I remember getting like mixed CDs from people that they weren't even mastered properly, but I still used to play them on radio. And I remember Davis Mgata used to come to me and say, yo, Smylie, and I would just say, I'll just make up an excuse. Yeah. And I'll say, until one day he starts asking me, yo, where is Nezuru? Until even he started letting me play those CDs, even without the CD numbers, even without the quality, the proper quality. I used to just push them just like that, because I never used to. I saw something in it, and there was a message in the music.
All right.
Yeah. So it was a couch. Yeah.
So you came up and you really kept pushing. It was really hard for you because you're not getting the support. So when can you say Zimdancehall started blowing up commercially?
Commercially, I think, because I said like I started pushing it like 2010. So I think about when I started doing the rhythm lineups and the artist lineups, that's when people started calling in and voting. Because I'll be like putting 3 rhythms against each other. I'll be like, okay, these rhythms versus each other. And then people started calling on radio saying, no, we vote for this rhythm, we vote for this rhythm. And I was like, okay, cool, this is actually working. After the rhythm thing done, we start doing artists, one versus artists going each against each other. I remember them days Freeman was still starting, and I was pushing Freeman artist lineup. I used to call it the artist lineup, Zimdancehall to the world artist lineup. And people used to follow that. Even on Facebook, people used to call on station. So I think from that time, I said from 2010, 2011, 2012, after that, boom.
It started blowing up. So, Smylie, I want to ask you, from your knowledge of Zimdancehall, you said you started getting knowledge of Zimdancehall in 2009. Does anyone have ownership of Zimdancehall?
Me can't say that. Me can't say people can claim ownership of Zimdancehall. Nobody can claim ownership of Zimdancehall, because everybody played a part in pushing it.
All right.
Yeah, everybody played a part in pushing it. Even from everybody who's there in the studio right now, even from Templeman. Templeman played his part.
Yeah.
Skwila played his part. JMP, producer, played his part.
Yeah.
I played my part.
Yeah.
Even the people them who are there right now, they're playing their part. So nobody can actually claim that Zimdancehall me started or nothing like that. It's a movement. So everybody contribute to it right now.
All right, Smylie.
But I know I played a major part as well, speaking for myself.
All right. Smylie, is Zimdancehall a culture, is it a lifestyle, or is just a genre?
Nah, we can't say it's just a genre. We can't say that. I would say a culture, a lifestyle. Because, if it's just a genre, we just focus on the music. But remember, there's also McClark's. What McClark's is there's all part of Zimdancehall.
But McClark's akatangira ku Jamaica.
Like a couch. No.
McClark's to Jamaica. Thank you for schooling me. I hope it's not going to start a whole other discussion that somebody said McClark's. All right, so it was Beatanga the whole week. No. Okay, no, I'm getting schooled because I'm not knowledgeable. That's why we're having this conversation, so that we can all learn something. So you said it's a culture, it's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle, it's a culture. That's what me say.
All right. We still have Smylie on the line. Do you have any comments? Anybody in the studio?
Yeah, Rasta, when you coming back?
Soon come.
Yeah, you need to come back. We need to work, Rasta.
Protect your legacy, brother.
Right now we are Dubai.
Anyway, you don't remember Zimdancehall to the world.
Smylie, where did Zimdancehall to the world come from? Zimdancehall to the world. Who coined that term?
Oh, me. To be honest, Zimdancehall to the world. It was me, Ike Fresh, And I remember even in England, when I was still in England, I used to link up with Juicer Dementa. And we had another producer from Botswana. So back then we used to call him Mangoma. And then the guy from Botswana was like, yo, what kind of dance are you guys singing? And then when we say Mangoma, you say, what's that? And then we try to explain and say, no, it's dancehall, like from Zimbabwe when we sing in our language. So it's like Zimdancehall. So we started and I bring that name down here. Even Ike Fish is the one who did that chant, that jingle. Zimdancehall to the world.
Zimdancehall to the world. Yeah, that's Ike Fish.
Yeah, man. Ike Fish did that, and then from radio, I start push that Zimdancehall to the world, Zimdancehall to the world, until it catch on.
All right, Smylie, any last words to educate the youth, the listeners, and anybody else before we continue what we're doing in the studio?
I just want to say, yo, big up everybody and all the artists, all the producers, all the DJs who are pushing Zimdancehall as a culture. And remember, it's a unity thing. It's a movement. We can't fight against each other over who started, over who's Zimdancehall. Nah, man. It's a movement. So all of us should move together and promote the thing so it's reach the world. That's what we wanted to do. That's what I'm here even in Dubai, trying to push the works to make sure everybody know about it.
All right.
Continue the work, continue the good works, and unity is strength.
All right. Thank you so much, Smylie, for coming through. We got to speak to Smylie. Any comments based on what he said before we continue? And do we need to take some calls, Sniper?
I think everything that he said is correct. It's a good contribution. Yeah, man.
All right, so after the news, we're going to ask the question, who started the name Zimdancehall? But right now, 498-652 and 498-654. This one's going to be fire. I think this one is going to be very fire.
No, it won't be fire because it's a reality and the facts are on the ground.
The facts on the ground. Do you have your facts ready?
Selassie.
I know Sniper Storm has got his facts. Elder Skwila has got his facts. So JMP has got his facts. We're also going to call up Major E after the news at 2 p.m. But 498-652 and 498-654. Get in touch right now with your contributions. Power FM, hello?
Chamvary.
Yes, go ahead with your contribution. What's your name?
Good, my name is Troy Harari.
All right, what's your contribution?
Last respect for my guys, Sari Momos, like I respect the Makapusha Zimdancehall. But I think there's something that we should also address where this whole conversation started. Kunakatora claims. However, I feel we shouldn't sideline them because they've also contributed Zagasimba. Where do these guys place one or claim you? Put Zimdancehall this Sakai commercialized. What do they think of that team? One of them, do they agree with they play the match?
Oh man, we lost him. What's your answer? I'm gonna let all of you answer this one. He said, where do these guys who started this whole debate, where do they fit into this? Let's not act like they've done nothing to the industry. They've done nothing for the industry, but where do they fit in? Because they're saying we commercialized the Zimdancehall thing.
I think they fit in well, and their contribution is noted and very valuable.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Very valuable. Just like what Smylie said, everyone contributed something.
Yes.
There are things that Godfatha Templeman did that I don't know. There are things that I did that he doesn't know, or that JMP did that I don't know, and it goes around. So it is not fair for then anyone to then come and claim rights to the name
or the commercialization.
Or the commercialization. What you can say is, at a particular time, I did this.
Yes.
And it helped grow the genre, helped grow the lifestyle or the culture.
And to add on that, Sniper, let me just break it down to Zimbabwe, because I think Zimbabwe, this is the term that they have to know. When you go to DZ right now, you'll find maybe 60, 70 studios, bedside studios. And
when you said bedside studios,
bedroom studios,
or studio better, or you
my computers there. That is how we record all the hit songs. That is how they've been recorded.
All right.
Yes, in the ghetto, you see maybe 60, 70 studios. You go to Kwadzana, you find maybe another 100 studios.
Right.
Hold on. You go to Mavuku, Tavara, you find another 100 studios. You go to Cheetown, you find another 200 studios. You go to Bridge, you go to Machingo, you go to Nyanga. Everywhere you find studios. So if you put all the studios together, maybe you come up with let's just say maybe 1.5 studios. If you come up with 1.5 bedside studios, and each studio got resident artists who record there who are about an average of 15 artists, at least 15, or let's just say 10. For argument's sake, let's say 10 who are resident there at that particular studio. So if you say 1.5 times 10 artists, what do you get? You get over 15,000 artists. Zimdancehall is everywhere. And let me tell you this, the Zimdancehall fans are the ones who become the artists, are the one who become the producers, are the who become the dancers, are the one who become the promoters. Zimdancehall is owned by the fans, it's owned by the people, because
it's a collective ownership. It's not owned by just one person.
If you call any artist right now, he will tell you, my first day I had Zimdancehall is I went to a show and I loved Zimdancehall. You call any producer, he will tell you, I first had to go to a show, I loved Zimdancehall.
I first fell in love with dancehall because Way Out Records came to our school at the end of the term and they put on a show.
Yes,
and I saw Brueggemann singing it.
And look at him, he's now a producer.
Look at me.
And I would like to expand on that. I would like to
we're running out of time though. We'd like to take some calls, so please just go ahead with your point real quickly.
Maybe take a call, then I'll come back to the point.
All right, 498-652-154.
Too much fire.
Power FM, hello.
Hello.
Yes, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Rabbi B.
Sorry?
Rabbi B from Mondoro.
What did Didi from Mondoro?
Mondoro is fine.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Well, Zimdancehall, as I am concerned, started in 2013 with Etaton Bini.
In 2000 and what?
And 13.
2013.
Yes.
With who?
With the likes of Soja Love Makonzo, what?
Okay, and then?
That is Zimdancehall team.
All right, and before that, what was happening?
Nothing.
Nothing was happening. All right, Sniper Storm would like to respond to you.
Okay, what's his name, by the way?
Sorry, you said your name is?
My name is Give Monya Mazao.
Oh, Give Monya.
Give Monya Mazao.
Yes.
You're talking to Sniper Storm in Zimbabwe. Zimdancehall started way before 2013. But you know what? I do not blame him. Because what I have realized is right now, if you go to a show maybe, you actually perform for people who do not know Love Him Soja.
That's true.
You will perform for people that do not know Love Him
Soja.
Why not?
Why? Because Zimdancehall is so big that it has fans
and
who were born Yatotanga and they don't even know Musaro a big man or you know, but they know Mugadi. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's what I'm saying. So it has grown into maybe 4 generations.
Let's listen to Give Mo. What are you saying, bro?
You should have been there on DFM 2018 when Zimdancehall started.
All right.
How old are you?
I'm 30. I was born on Independence Day 1980.
In 1980.
Okay.
All right, but he says he sticks by his word.
Every day to me on Independence Day.
All right, thank you so much, Give More. Give More says Zimdancehall started in 2013 and he's sticking to his word.
I want to respond to him. In 2013,
you got under a minute. Go ahead.
In 2013, we made an album called Kwani Gustara. That was a Gospel Warrior album, and it had 3 NAMA nominations, and that was Zimdancehall.
All right.
So it didn't start in 2013. Imagine from 2006 to 2013, we were growing. Our sound was growing.
Gospel Warrior had a big tune, Norway, and
way before and that.
13 October.
Yeah.
When were those tunes dropped? 2009, 2009,
2010.
Elder Skwila?
So it didn't start in 13.
Another thing about, I think he's quite old, but what I can say is Zimdancehall also grew
bigger in 13
geographically.
That's a
At
fact.
some point it was centralized.
I will have to hold you on that point there because you said it grew bigger in 2013. Straight after the news at 2 p.m. we are going to ask Sniper Storm to expand on that point and then come back with what caused all this noise, because someone said we are the ones who commercialized Zimdancehall after 2013. It's 2 p.m. and it's time for the news. We'll continue this conversation straight afterwards.
The 2 p.m. news, I'm John Nandara. The government has begun implementing a new accounting system that recognizes transactions within the time they occur in line with public finance management reforms. This was reviewed at the unveiling of the Public Sector Capacity Building Accelerated Program in Harare yesterday. Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators in Zimbabwe Chief Executive Officer Dr. Love Mogomera said the private sector will continue to assist government on policies that facilitate transparency. The government says it will process mining claims, repossess mining claims which are not being used. Mines and Mining Development Minister Comrade Winston Chitando, who was in Masvingo, said no one will be allowed to hold on to claims for speculative purposes. Minister Chitando also said those holding on to claims will be given a deadline to operationalize their mines. In failure to do so, will see the government repossessing the claims. This comes amid revelations that a mining concession in Masvingo has not been used for the past 30 years, as the owner is holding on to it for speculative reasons. The Herbert Chitepo School of Ideology is conducting a 5-day training of trainers as part of the reorientation program for ZANU-PF party cadres in Bulawayo. The training is meant to assist and mold party cadres in line with the ZANU-PF ideology. Addressing participants, the Herbert Chitepo College principal and Politburo member Comrade Munyaradzi Machacha emphasized that they need to take the party's ideology to the lowest ranks to foster discipline and orient members. Saudi Arabia has executed a Nigerian woman convicted of trafficking drugs. Reports say the woman was executed along with 2 Pakistan men and a Yemeni national in Islam's earliest